We're here at the Loves in El Paso. We got a dispatch to go pick up a load here in El Paso going to none other than Atlanta. So let's get busy. Well, we're just leaving El Paso. This guy next to me, let me get my code in here. He's a truck driver. And he just asked me, he's setting up his GPS unit in the fuel island, and he asked me how tall his truck and trailer was. Well, that's scary, because if you don't know how tall your truck and trailer is, how do you survive on the road? That is so scary. No wonder we have people crashing into bridges. And anyway, I helped him out. But how do you read the signs? He spoke perfect English. It had nothing to do with that, I don't think. But he asked me how tall his truck and trailer were. Well, off we go to Atlanta. And I think it'll be warm enough that all of the hysteria in Atlanta is all gone. I'm sure that you guys have all heard about that. Of course, you could be watching this 5 years from now and not know what the heck I'm talking about. Every time it snows in Atlanta, there's a huge problem there with the traffic. So that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. And you know what? I love El Paso because it looks just like this. It's so nice. I used to live here, and so I know it's not all nice all the time, but usually it is. Well, thank you, sir.
In 800 feet, turn left on South Desert Boulevard, and then take the entrance to the left in 150 feet.
See those stars over there representing Texas? Because we're to the right is New Mexico, to the left is Texas. Well, on my Facebook page, we were talking about the other day about how when you're in a time of plenty, you do extra things. So it was suggested, since we're kind of all struggling financially, the country, the world, that maybe we shouldn't do some of the fancy bike paths and art. Now I'm going to give Texas a break on those stars because that's like their decoration for coming into Texas. Okay.
Turn left on South Desert Boulevard, and then
but
the entrance to the left in 100
all of the other fancy dancy artwork that you see, I do like art, I do like the way that it looks, but it scares me financially that we're spending billions and billions on all that and our roads are falling apart. I'd like to hear your comments about that. Maybe you can prove me wrong. It's just an idea. Let's fix the roads and bridges first, then we'll worry about all the fancy stuff. Let's get rolling here. They got the dogs out. I've seen this dog. I think it's neurotic. All it does is walk round and round and round. We go. We're almost to Van Horn, which we'll be stopping at just for a Coke, stretch the feet, get the blood flow going. Almost to Van Horn, Texas. As we're going across the Texas desert here, we're approaching Van Horn, which is where I usually stop. The only problem with this pilot is it's also a Greyhound bus stop, so a lot of times it's completely filled in there with Greyhound bus people. But hopefully today we'll not have one of those big crowds in there. I always want to, when I run across those, I want to have some of those little hotel bottles of shampoo and give to some of those people that are riding on the bus so they can wash their hair. The reason I say that is when I was a kid, well, I was 18 years old, I wanted to go back to my high school to visit some friends, and I got on a Greyhound bus, and I was walking down the aisle and put my hand on the headrests, and my hand just slipped off because of the greasy headrests. So ever since then, buses have just disgusted me. I may have told that story before. If I did, just forget about it. Let's see if everybody's piled up out into the road here. There's no bus there. Woohoo! But we do have a lot of trucks. They're piled out all the way into the street. What do I want to do? I think if they were to rebuild this pilot, because it is such a big stopping place for trucks, they would have moved the building back off the road more. Oh, did we get lucky or what? Yeah. I love luck. Van Horn, Texas, everyone. Van Horn, Texas. Before we were going to stay on 20, now we're going to go on 10. Which I'm kind of glad I go on 20 a lot more than on 10. And we'll make it to Fort Stockton tonight, which is about an hour from now. Well, I've never been to this Flying J here in Fort Stockton, Texas. It's a brand new one. So it'll be interesting to see. I like to explore and have adventures. Right, Michael Jones? Adventures in trucking, eh? And an adventure in the dictionary, I think, is defined as something you haven't done before. So, a true adventure here is us truck drivers are easily pleased if we're happy with a new truck stop. You know what, though? I'd give up a new truck stop for some smooth roads. Wouldn't you? Okay, like I can see in the sun. All right. It looks neat. Kind of different. There's like little L's. Well, let's see. Ooh, this is nice. Yeah, it's nice now, but come 4 o'clock in the morning, this will all be full. All right, Fort Stockton, Texas, and it's local time here is 10 to 6. Woohoo! All right, the Flying J, it was nice. Nothing spectacular, but it's kind of nice to have a Flying J out here in the middle of Texas. It's a lot nicer than that Pecos one, I'll tell you that. That one's not very nice at all. Got a good hot shower, ready to go to sleep. Talk to you in the morning. Good morning. We're in Fort Stockton. Waking up. And we only have a 3-hour or 6-hour drive into San Antonio this morning. Meet a driver there, swap loads with him, and head on back to Fontana, California. Let's get rolling. Yeah, we've hit tremendous fog this morning. It's hard to actually see anything. Visibility is about 20 feet. So we're gonna pull over soon. Just until the sun burns a little of this fog out. Well, I'm going to go ahead and try to drive a little bit. I can see a lot better now. once the old sun comes up, it helps to burn things away. 10 in this area is traditionally foggy. So I mean, I'm not surprised that I hit fog here. But I like it when it's smooth sailing, you know. As does everyone. I don't think anybody would pray for fog like this. Except lawyers. Maybe there'll be an accident, said the lawyer to the other lawyer. They need to put some pavement down here. Good old Circle Bar truck stop. We are downtown San Antonio doing our gonna head up to the Flying J and do our swap there with a trailer, another trailer. Alright, we made our quick swap here in San Antonio. Now I gotta go back the same way that I came. I don't think I'll have fog though this afternoon like I did this morning. Well, we've been trapped in this about an hour, man, maybe an hour and a half. And I guess this is the end up here. I don't know what the accident is, but my left leg sure is aching. Wow, it split right in half. The driver was okay. That red truck is the driver. Was the driver. I'm in the shadow of South Mountain here in Phoenix. South Mountain divides Phoenix between the south and the north. The south is growing out more and more. Actually, Phoenix is growing out all around, but we're on the south side of Phoenix. Gotta see if I can find a place that this Love's here. They expanded the parking here. It used to be one of those typical mini Loves, but they expanded it quite a bit. And if you ever can't find parking here at this South Love's in Phoenix, you can always go over to the Indian Casino, and they have plenty of parking there. Hey, and the good news is I'm meeting some friends here. How often have I told you guys that? I usually don't do that, but because of the time schedules and stuff, but I'm here early enough, and Chuck and Penny are probably my closest friends. From the past, and so it'll be awesome. We're gonna go have some dinner. I think I'll find a place to park, and even one of the lazy places. You guys know I like to park in the lazy parking places. The kind where you don't have to struggle to get into. I actually made it 40 minutes further than what I had planned. I had only planned to make it to Eloy, Arizona, but I did drive a little bit faster today because I'm so light. Actually, if I would have stayed slow, I would have saved that much more money, but I didn't. You know what? I finally made it to Phoenix, and I met up with my friends, and we're having some good old-fashioned Mexican food here in Phoenix. So, after that, it's going to be back to the truck stop, go to sleep, and then wake up early as we continue our trip on to Fontana.
Hi, I'm Gear Jammin' Mike, and you're watching Adventures in Trucking with Indiana Jack. And now back to Tabletop Trucking.
There's a lot of you out there who are watching that used to be truckers, and you had a medical problem, a stroke, or something like that, and I want you to know I do get your messages. And I think it's awesome that you can sit there and watch and actually ride along and have coffee with me. And all of us that are trucking out here on the road. There's a guy, you know, his name is Merle Stevens. He's in the same situation as some of you folks, and he can't drive either. And he wrote this song because he reflects back on the years that he could write. Now that he could drive a truck. Now his only access to trucking is, you know, go into a truck stop, sit around and talk to old truck drivers there, and he calls the song, it's pretty awesome, it's called Tabletop Trucking.
The two-line roads going through all the little towns. Why I never got to pass a greyhound unless they stopped to let the people out. Drinking coffee, tabletop trucking is what I do now these days. 'Cause I miss trucking and the good old days. F-model cab over Mac 2 stick, triplex going down the Ohio Pike, when a B-model Mac with a dog's tongue hanging out comes up alongside me, the driver with a grin that says my dog's better than yours. I have a 2-stick, 4x4 trans and long legs. Drinking coffee, tabletop trucking is what I do now these days. 'Cause I miss trucking and the good old days. We never locked up our trucks if someone broke down. Everyone stopped to help out, made sure they were going down the road again, safe and sound. Drinking coffee, tabletop trucking is what I do now these days. 'Cause I miss trucking and the good old days. I don't miss the old trucks. The heaters would only keep it warm when you parked. Had to have a rag and scraper to keep the windows clean going down the road in a Minnesota winter. I don't miss the old trucks. Drinking coffee, tabletop trucking is what I do now these days. 'Cause I miss trucking and the good old days. I sure miss my W900, best truck I ever had. Margaret was her name, I named her after my mother. And sometimes I could hear angels singing just before I went to sleep. She was a pretty blue and fancy too. Sure, pour me another cup. Drinking coffee, tabletop trucking is what I do now these days. 'Cause I miss trucking and the good old days. And the good old days. Yeah, tabletop trucking.
We finally made it all the way to Fontana, and we're dropping off the trailer here. It's been quite a trip. It's one of those good trips, you know? Hey, and don't forget that trucking's really an adventure. Thanks for riding along with me. I'm Indiana Jack, and we'll see you on the next trip. Always trucking.